Okay, questions? Pierre Ranada,
wala na.
Rappler. Different issue. Okay.
Sir, on the Verifiles report alleging that President Duterte and his daughter did not declare 100 million in investments, sir, will the president finally issue a waiver allowing BPI to release his bank transaction history, seeing as these accusations continue to persist because he has not really done so?
Pia, we can't comment on hearsay. The reality is the law says that bank statements are in fact confidential, and you need a report or a request from the Anti-Money Laundering Council to get copies of these statements. When Verifiles asked me for my comment, how could I comment when the documents are not authenticated? The whole story hinges on bank documents which they could not have had obtained copies of. So in the same way that I can't comment when I was asked by Vera, what can I say now? Prove first that the statements are authentic. Then I will comment. For now, kwento kunchero.
But sir, based on supposed hearsay, the president already promised to issue a waiver. So he actually did want to comment on it, except that the supposed waiver is too specific and, given the new details in this report, no longer valid. So will he issue a new waiver?
The president has said that during the elections, he has already issued the waiver. It's there. Now, what he has said is he will never issue a waiver in response to Senator Trillanes' request. No? Now, I'd like to underscore the fact that all these bank statements are rehashed from stories that Senator Trillanes alleged initially during the elections, which until today have not been proven because it is impossible to authenticate these so-called bank documents.
Sir, but these are new allegations because there are new details. For example, this now includes a new branch in BPI and also includes specific numbers. Hindi na po to yung 211 million, but bank transfers which show that they failed to declare between 44.25 million to as much as 85.73 million from 2006 to 2014. So,
Let me be very clear. If the banks will attest that those bank statements are true, we will comment. Until such time, kwentong kutsero, chismis.
Okay, next question. Any
I
questions?
challenge them. Come up with certification from the banks that the statements are genuine. Then we will comment. But it's really is improper to comment on chismis. And they will remain chismis until the banks attest to the truth and veracity of these bank statements.
Okay. Follow-up question. Last one question. Pierre Ranada, Rappler.
sir, just on the frigate deal, so we were able to get a comment from the former undersecretary in the palace, Lloyd Christopher Lau, and he was saying that receiving complaints about such contracts is a usual course of procedure in the office of SAP. So, sir, but then he also defended himself, saying that his office is in charge of looking into complaints of presidential appointees. So, is it really already the norm for Palace to look into such big-ticket contracts, even if it's already supposed to be implemented? I mean, why is it that way?
The reason why they had to refer it was because the communication was received by the palace. It's not just the PMS that has that course of action. Even my office, I'm probably the second most written office too, in the palace. No? All I can do is to refer it to the appropriate line agency. No?
But they did more than just refer it. They actually called a meeting in Malacanang to talk about the CMS election. So, is that normal?
I do not know if they actually called for a meeting, because what you said is that they transmitted the information. No? You said that Yusek Lau admitted to transmitting that information.
No, sir. He
So
also
what I'm
confirmed to
saying
holding the
is,
meeting.
I do not know about that as a matter of fact. No? If they did, so be it, because in effect, the white paper is a form of complaint that had to be attended to. Are you going to close your eyes to complaints being sent to the palace? At least it proves that we're in compliance with the obligation under the Salonga law. No? Not only to reply, but to look into matters received by the palace. And as you can see, there's been quite a number of complaints received by the palace, acted upon, particularly on the issue of corruption and junkets.
But do you think this particular process could also be abused by contractors or private people with private interests to have the palace speak on behalf of their private interests?
Could be, but that's why we retain very intelligent people in the palace.
So how do we guard against this process being abused by such interests?
Because we have intelligent people.
That's it?
Well, what else do you want me to say? There are complaints that have to be acted upon. You discern the truth from fiction. Same thing about journalism. There's a month of process involved. And of course, what would be deplorable if the palace were to ignore complaints made and submitted to it. It shows that we don't sit on complaints.
Okay. One last, Joseph.